hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. A little bit later doing the review tonight because I have just been processing everything of the Book of Boba Fett episode 3, and I was going to review it after I'd watched it the first time, but I thought I'd watch it again and it was better the second time round. But overall, all I'll say is that, you know, it's the worst of what we've seen so far. A big step back in my opinion, actually. Quite a few issues with what I saw, and I've spoken to a few other people as well, and you know, we share the same opinion on it. Really, it's kind of a common general consensus what was wrong with it, but you know, still enjoyable and everything like that. But anyway, so we start. I'll go through the whole episode, but I'll just say right from the get-go what I didn't like was the Lambrettas, as my mate Mike said. He said, well, it's just Lambrettas without wheels, Nick. You know, he's quite right. I didn't think that worked. And, well, I don't know really. Maybe I should just start from the beginning and go through it and talk about it. So it started out with 8D8 was doing his little speech on all the gangs. So he was talking about the Klatooians and the Niktos. And no, he didn't. He talked about the Trandoshans and then the Klatooians and Hutts and bloody blah. So it's like kind of, you know, drawing up what the turf is on Mos Espa and all that. Then this guy came into the palace who was complaining about, you know, getting done over by this gang, the modified humans he described them as, which was, that was what I had the biggest issue. I did not like the gang really at all. I didn't like that. You got a nice night shot of Mos Espa after that, and then he goes to meet these street gangs and talks to them or whatever, and talking about cutting prices of the water, and then it was the designs of the bikes I didn't like, really. I just thought they were way too new. They were too colourful. From certain angles, I appreciated the craftsmanship of them, probably because I liked the earthness of them, you know, what they represent on planet Earth. But on Tatooine, I did not think they worked. But I'm skipping the gun here. But you did see the gang, obviously, at this point at night time. And then, obviously, Boba Fett offers for them to work for him. He says, "You're not working, work for me," or whatever. So then that's it. Then the guy comes back out of his hovel and says, you know... Anyway, I won't go into the details. I'll let you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the episode. The title of the episode does not come up until about 9 minutes in. It was bizarre. You know, Book of Boba Fett episode 3, Gangs of Mos Eisley, or whatever it was. Well, not Mos Eisley, Mos Espa. Streets of Mos Espa. Then came the flashback, which I love the flashbacks, and I was waiting for it to happen. I know some people are not keen on the Tuskens and all that stuff, but I am. That's the part of the show I am most invested in. So we have the flashback. It starts with a flashback of Kamino, which I'm loving all that as well. Another shot of Fett, his reflection looking in the window, landing platform of Slave One, whatever it was, and I love that. That's really good. Then we're back on Tatooine, and you get a really nice shot of the Bantha with a single sun of Tatooine in the background. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about this video. What I liked and didn't like. I'm talking about shots here. So that just visuals, in terms of visuals, that was a really nice shot, that one of the Bantha. And because the sun was setting, or the suns were setting, you could only see one of the two. That was nice. Then I've written down Pit Droid here. Pit Droid? Oh, that's right. So he's on Bantha back, and he's on his way into Mos Eisley. And my mate Daniel was raving about, well, not raving, slight exaggeration. He said he liked the... You saw that I didn't recognize the woman from Mandalorian. I didn't even notice her. She's the woman. I've forgotten her name now. She has a character name, but still, she's the one who's in charge of the docking bay or whatever. That you see her in season 2 as well, and she has a gang of pit droids. Now I didn't even notice them going by in the background because I was looking at the dude in the foreground who was putting the helmets on the spikes. That's what I had the issue with. I thought to myself, did we have to see the Stormtrooper helmets? Especially at the exact point when they were being put on the spikes. I thought it was just cool enough seeing them in Mando. It might have been cool him just going past them, but the fact that you actually saw a guy putting the helmet on the spike. But anyway, on the second viewing, that didn't bother me as much. I don't know why, it just didn't do it for me at that first viewing. And yeah, I didn't even notice her going past, but I did like that. I thought that was pretty cool, kind of continuity she was just scuttling by. Then he has a meeting with the Pikes. I thought that was quite an interesting meeting when, you know, there's talk about the Nikto Sand Riders and they don't want to pay double protection, which is understandable, you know. So, and he says, "You will not see the Tusken Sand Riders again." And he says, "I look forward to doing business with you." The Pike guy, and I liked the way he was swirling his drink. That was pretty cool. And then back, Boba goes on his panther back to what? Well, you see some smoke on the horizon, and the Tusken camp is decimated. And I really liked the music there. It was really good. And you see a lot of emotion in his face as well. You don't know what the smoke is. I thought maybe he's come across another dwelling that's being set on fire by that swoop gang or whatever they are, but no, it was actually the Tusken completely wiped out. There's dead banthas, there's dead Tusken raiders on the floor, and he sort of puts them all together. There's a little bit of a funeral pyre whenever he burns them, and then there's a shot where it almost looks like he's crying. And then that's that. Black Chrysanthemum, Bacta, Drown. Yeah, that's what I'm sorry, that's me reading my notes here. So then we go back to reality, and he wakes up that's a flashback or whatever, and then he's in the Bacta tank. And this is what we were all fully expecting. Somebody would get him at his most vulnerable in the Bacta tank. Now, to be honest with you, I thought somebody was going to kill him in his Bacta tank, as in drown him. But the lid is lifted, and all the Bacta comes out, and he's not drowned. And I thought somebody would kill him in his sleep. He wouldn't even bloody know he was dead, because he's so vulnerable in there. But obviously, the lid is lifted and a fight ensues between him and Black Chrysanthemum. It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Half-naked Boba. Then his protection comes out, and then that's the swoop gang, whatever. There's a bit of a fight. Black Chrysanthemum, to cut long story short, ends up in the Rancor pit, although Fennec Shand calls it later his dungeon, but still. So his new muscle, this gang of kids are doing their job. Then we cut to a feast going on. And as Fennec Shand says, you might as well enjoy the spoils of being a family leader or whatever. And he's like, sick of the food, take the food, no more food or whatever. So food fit for a king. There's some octopus on the table there as well. Oops, I've just dropped my notes. Hang on. That was quite interesting. Then apparently the twins are at the door, the Hutts. So then we cut to the Hutts at the door. They have brought a gift. The gift is a Rancor, which I thought was a bit weird. The fact that they're saying sorry and they're giving gifts. I thought, what is the twist here? What are they up to? But anyway, so they drop off this Rancor. They explain that there's another Syndicate on the planet or whatever. So, they even advise Boba, you need to get out of here. Because we are. Tatooine is a worthless ball. Rock, whatever. So, we're going back to Nal Hutta. So, there you are. Christ almighty, have they carried these Hutts a long way? This gang of Niktos, or whoever they are, who carry those two Hutts around, the twins. Bloody hell, they've got a long walk back. That's what I thought. The second time I watched, I didn't even think about that the first time. But anyway, so the Rancor looks like it's been sedated a bit like, I'm thinking Jurassic Park 2 here, The Lost World, the T-Rex has been tranquilized or whatever, but still, they let Black Chrysanthemum go. But at the point when they said, he's our tribute to you, so it's obviously like a double gift. It's almost like I thought Black Chrysanthemum was gonna, or Chrysanthemum was gonna be part of the team, like recruit him a bit, like more and more people join Mando in the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, you know what I mean? So I thought he was going to join the team, but he doesn't. He just runs away. But having said that, though, it crossed my mind that he would be back. I think you'll see more of him, and he'll be on Team Boba. But anyway, the whole thing the next bit with the Rancor, I thought was a massive double cross by the twins, but I was massively let down by that. There was all this talk of the Rancor, having an affinity with the first thing it sees and all that. And I've read that before about the Rancor being a semi-sentient being, or it's got emotions and all this. But the guy who was the new keeper, he's awesome. I love that actor. Seen him in loads of things, but he was there. And the thing is, I thought it was a double cross when he said to Boba, he said, stand there, like stand in front of the Rancor. He takes the eyes, the blindfold or whatever, the blinkers off the Rancor, and I swear to God, I thought that Rancor was going to eat Boba, or attack him at least. And I thought that's the whole setup, like the Hutts had given him the Rancor to eat his ass. But no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Didn't have a massive issue with what I saw with that. It was more what happens next, which is the bikes were terrible. The whole chase was, I don't know, average. I didn't even notice the first time I watched it, but people have come. I spoke to Tim earlier, Tim from Bosk's Bounty, and he was saying how slow these things went. And he's right, actually they did move really slowly. In fact, I've just watched the episode again, as I say, but I didn't even look at the screen for the chase because I was sort of making notes, so I was just on my phone or whatever. Been doing all sorts of things tonight, but the chase was the chase. In the chase though, there was a protocol droid you saw nearly get run over, but also I liked the rickshaw droid, the oogie doggy right there, the one that Anakin sort of and Padme are on, a kind of a rickshaw droid or whatever you call them. Then I'm going to cut a long story short there. There's the chase. The speeder bikes, whatever you call them, didn't really do it for me. The London gang, should we say? I don't know really. They were alright. I tell you what, the girl looked pretty good on camera, and she had a few good looks to camera, should we say, and when she was sort of like on her bike and she went right above the Mojodomo's speeder, and his speeder looked quite good, to be honest. It looked more Star Wars, but she kind of looked down like a robot. Well, I suppose they are all robots, aren't they? They're kind of cybernetic. I didn't fully realise. I thought they were like a human gang, but no, if you watch it, when I watched it again, I noticed that the water guy, was saying how they're modified humans, so that explains why they were a bit sort of androidy in a way. So they were pretty cool, but the vehicles were way too bright. And then at the very end, you see a load of Pikes getting off this transporter, and he says they're getting ready for war. Fennec Shan says they're getting ready for war, but and then Boba says, and then we will be ready, quoting directly my man Moff Gideon there. It's the same word, the same script as Moff Gideon would say, so whatever. So is it the Pikes? I haven't really thought any more than that. It probably is just the Pikes, but people are going on about Crimson Dawn. Well, God, we just don't know. But I will tell you this about the episode, that I enjoyed it, but, thank God there's going to be more, because I think they could do with pulling it back. The last week's episode I loved. This one, not so much. But I think of it as like, I don't know if you guys, you view as what sport you watch, if you're a football fan, as in, I'm talking about soccer here. Soccer, man. I'm talking about soccer, not your goddamn American football, whatever, you know what I mean. Your team, whoever you watch and support, can have a bad game, and you have to then wait a week or whatever it is until you have another match where you either rectify the problem or play better or whatever. And that's what it's like with this. It was alright, it was enjoyable, but I tell you what, it was a bad performance, I think, overall. And the good news is there's more games left in the season, and on that point I will leave it there. Thank you very much for listening to my waffle about episode 3. If you have enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you are new around here, subscribe. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.